It's been more than 2 months since the announcement of the Smash ballot, and there has been a ton of great suggestions and pushes for certain characters to be a new DLC character. From what we know, there's no limit set on how many characters will be accepted, so the possibilities are endless. I still propose we give Sakurai a vacation before we get any more new characters, but nevertheless, I'd figure I'd throw an idea out there. While many may be opposed to this character idea because of the franchise's great current representation in Smash 4, a character should be seen for what they can offer to the game and how much the fans want them in. As someone who thoroughly enjoys the character's games and who, almost literally, cannot decide on what character to use every single battle, I fully support his addition to the roster, as well as other characters who can bring interesting playstyles to the table. In case you somehow missed the title, my worthy choice of a character would be none other than Paper Mario. I'm not sure how well you know my channel, but it's clear that I like the Paper Mario games. Yeah, I've seen what unique charms the games have, and these experiences have made the thought of him as a playable character an easy task. I may not be the type of player that knows about every single detail in his games, but I know enough to give you a full moveset at the top of my head without much thought at all. I can imagine that's a great sign for the unique abilities of just about any character. Anyway, let's get back to the focus of the video. Now, I know a common reason that many people would disagree with his inclusion is because of something like, he's just another Mario. We don't need a third Mario. Well, they aren't lying, he's still Mario. While many may oppose the inclusion because of that, it is actually not a bad thing. Paper Mario reflects a core part of what the world of Mario, in general, has to offer. The Paper Mario games have large environments of many quirks, characters, and stories that add to the huge universe of the Mushroom Kingdom. It's like with Rosalina. She represents the worlds and lore of what can be found in the Mario Galaxy games. They are just as large as the ones found in the Paper Mario games, and add a lot to what the Mario universe was already known for. They are the core parts of what Mario is, and shouldn't be disregarded. Better representation is something a lot of franchises can benefit from in Smash 4, if anything, so there's no reason to limit that. People may also disregard him because of the size of the Mario roster already, but know that no character spot would be lost by having Paper Mario as a character. Your favorite characters like King K. Rool, Shovel Knight, and Rayman all have a chance to get in, no sweat. I know another common reason people will be opposed to this is the idea of him being another clone, like Dr. Mario. It wouldn't happen. Dr. Mario, Dark Pit, and Lucina were added extras to the game. With the time limit the team was on, spending time to make them fully fledged characters wouldn't have allowed the team to finish on time. These, however, are DLC characters. They have time to make them. There's not much of a rush. Sakurai said he wanted to have unique characters added to the roster. That's the reason why, for example, he chose to add Robin over Chrom. Could they have made a unique moveset for Chrom that would be different from other sword wielders? Yes, I agree. However, I also understand that we have a lot of sword wielders already. Robin can wield magic, and that's not something we've really had in Smash. I like both of the characters, but I totally understand such a choice, because Robin's difference in unique moveset potential was greater than what Chrom had to offer. For those that haven't played Paper Mario, it can be understandable why it seems so redundant. I totally recommend playing any of the games at all to see the potential and differences he holds from the average Mario that we have, because he's very different. Paper Mario is also on the Wii U Virtual Console as a heads up, in case you're interested. Now, with those points out of the way, you may wonder just what his moveset would be in the first place. To give you an idea of how unique he can be, I'll just give you a couple of moves that could come directly from his games and the character. First off, he's Paper, in case you couldn't tell. He'd probably be the lightest character in the game, so imagine fighting against a lighter Jigglypuff, and we're off to a great start. His speed would probably be as average as Mario, although his jump height may be a little lower. His moveset will have to make up for that. His stage, in addition, can be the Battle Theater from Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. The stage can either transition to the different theaters or stay as such. In the normal version, opponents can be KO'd from the side or the top of the screens. The audience seen here may throw harmful items or good items depending on how you do. Now, on to his moveset. An easy smash attack would be his hammer attack. If they wanted to give his games a nod, they could include the little counter that indicates when you should strike. They could adjust its timing with the average time it takes for a fully charged smash attack. In the first Paper Mario game, he can do a dash to move along quickly and even stun foes. This can be his dash attack. Think of it like Mega Man's dash attack, except Paper Mario would be really vulnerable after its execution. However, if they wanted to stay true to its use, they'd allow you to jump out of the attack and find another attack to use afterwards. It wouldn't be too bad either, as it would have great knockback on the last hit, and the hitbox will remain as long as he spins in place. It'd be a great tool to get around the battlefield, too. In the Thousand Year Door, you can find star pieces by ground pounding special areas to reveal a flipping panel. His down smash can be that attack, where two small panels rise and flip in front of and behind him. If they wanted it to include a luck factor, a star piece would occasionally pop out for massive damage if it hits your opponent. If you don't hit them though, then they can grab it and use it against you. If you wanted to use it even more strategically, you might do that attack a few times near a ledge in hopes of having a star piece fall down to limit your opponent's recovery options. In Super Paper Mario, Mario can use a special ability to switch between 2D and 3D. A similar flip animation can be used for his dodge, just not as snazzy and more simple. In the Paper Mario games, Mario's primary attack is a jump. They could handle this more than one way. His neutral air would be a jumping stance, as seen here, where he prepares to stop someone. Should an opponent be below his feet, press the A button again to do damage, and maybe paralyze them mid-air for a split second too. If it wasn't a neutral air, then it could be his footstool. If you jump from someone's head, it spikes them. It sounds great since anyone can easily knock out Paper Mario anyway, so it'd be pretty risky to try it. In the Thousand Year Door, Mario's defense options primarily consist of guarding and super guarding. Guarding reduces the damage taken, and super guarding lets him take absolutely no damage. In Smash 4, this can work as a different counter than what we're used to. Down B will let him enter his guarding stance. You see the flicker of light characters have when they start a counter? He'd have that, and the timing would be very specific. If Paper Mario's attack during his invincibility frames, he'll bounce back a bit and the attack will do less knockback and a bit less damage. However, if you time it perfectly and you're attacked right as the spark disappears, you'll do a super guard, having a lot less knockback, less damage, and maybe a third of the damage dealt back. Obviously, in order to make this viable, the animations won't be as long as they are in the original. Since Paper Mario would be an extremely light character, this would be very useful. You'd have to make the decision whether to use this or any other defensive option quickly, and if you use it at the wrong time, you're likely to get KO'd, so it's not overpowered. In Super Paper Mario, a pixel by the name of Barry can be added to your party. He will act as a barrier and shield you from enemy attacks while moving some enemies out of the way. In Smash 4, you can just show up while Paper Mario uses his shield. Nothing special happens, it's just a cool reference. In Super Paper Mario, a pixel by the name of Doru is obtained early on in the game. He can be thrown to grab objects and toss them. In Smash 4, Paper Mario can use Doru for a ranged grab. His forward throw can even be the toss he does in the original game. Although he never used it to grab onto ledges in Super Paper Mario, he'd probably be able to do that in Smash, since everyone with a ranged grab can recover this way. Throughout the Paper Mario games, Mario uses his partners quite often. In Smash 4, he'd be using them quite a bit as well. His neutral B can use the attack of Watt, a character from the first game that shocks enemies and lights up dark areas. It can be charged. It will paralyze the opponent for a certain time depending on how long it's charged. Since you won't be able to carry around the charge, it would work really well on shields. In the Thousand Year Door, your first special ability is called Sweet Treat, a move where you toss crystal stars at icons to regain health and flower points. For Paper Mario's side special, just like the original, a cursor will arrive and it can toss all crystal stars at your opponents both high and low. The stars would have different properties, such as having the diamond star being the one that travels the least amount of distance but does the most damage, the garnet star being the least damaging one but travels the farthest, and the emerald star being a slow projectile but temporarily immobilizes your opponent. These can all come out randomly. In the 1000-Year Door, a character by the name of Goombella acts as your enemy info guide and pretty much the character that'll tell you a lot. She can be a special taunt ability available for use on Paper Mario stage, just like Fox. She can use her charisma and commentate on the battle, or simply tell you about your opponent. Believe me, if you haven't played the 1000-Year Door, she's a pretty interesting character. The title logs would be pretty funny here, probably. Custom moves would work great with Paper Mario too. Let's say you decide that Watt, his neutral B, doesn't fit your style. A second custom can be Bombette, in which you toss her a short distance and she'll explode on contact, obviously doing much greater damage than Watt. If you don't like that either, then you could use Vivian, who will target the opponent once activated and throw out a punch. The punch is given fire properties if the right button is pressed in original games, but instead of that, the punch with fire properties can appear randomly, obviously with a below average chance of happening. That custom wouldn't be too bad either, as you can summon her often, but she won't do much damage with a normal punch. Those were just custom moves for his neutral special. Imagine what they can do with the other ones. Finally, as for Paper Mario's final smash, he can use his special ability from Paper Mario Sticker Star. In the game, he can use the ability of his partner, Kirsty, to paperize and stick in or take out objects from the environment. There's also a place in Deckelberg, the main town, where you can toss real-life objects onto a wall to make them into stickers. For Paper Mario's final smash, he can call Kirsty to leave the scene, get in the background, and toss real-life objects at the players. All of the objects would have different damage properties, of course. See? With those few points, I managed to represent every single game with a few moves. Just talking about what it could do if you made it in is quite exciting. Those were some ideas just at the top of my head. The things I incorporated into the moveset are actions commonly found, so it just seemed right to me. It's clear they can do a lot to make him an awesome character. Believe me, Paper Mario is much more than just another Mario. He can provide a very interesting playstyle to the roster that we have now. Rest assured, as long as they put in as much time as they do with other characters to make him unique and true to his origins, then he will be definitely a welcome addition to the Smash series that will broaden the diversity of the large cast of characters that we have now. I hope you can consider him as a worthy addition, or even like the idea more after watching this video. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're interested in supporting the character, you can check out his thread on Smashboards. I'll leave more links down in the description.